What's up, everybody? Welcome to another great episode of Comics Remixed, episode 14.1. I'm Junior Ruiz.
And I'm David Sanchez.
Welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Of course, the .1 episodes are always breaking the fourth wall, the news. Big news this weekend was the San Diego Comic-Con. You know, any news that was news came out of there.
We'll be there one day. Soon.
2014, we're
soon
going.
enough.
We're going.
Hopefully sooner, 2014.
It sounds like a long time away.
That's actually
really
a much more realistic goal. I like that.
Yeah.
It is our much more realistic goal.
Of course.
We'll be there representing, nerding y'all.
You know, when putting this week's script together, we decided the best source that we saw was Newsrama, and they had a top 10 list of the top 10 things that the biggest news announcements, so to speak, at San Diego Comic-Con. So what we're gonna do this episode is kind of run down through all 10 and give you our takes on what they are.
Yeah.
And of course, like always, we always want your opinions, so feel free to comment.
Yeah, actually, 10's a pretty good one to start off of.
Go ahead, man. Start off. Number 10.
Apparently, they're coming off. Deadpool's gonna have his own video game, and it's gonna be written by the same writer of the comic.
I don't.
From what I think.
I don't know. They don't mention it here.
I saw this article earlier today.
Okay.
Through a different news source, and I was thinking about that, and you have to think. Okay, yeah, you buy a lot of these video games for the gameplay, and also a great story, right? But doesn't necessarily being a great writer on comics or any book or book media translate into being a great storyteller for interactivity.
I would say yeah, because I mean, like, a great writer is a great writer is a great writer, especially if, you know, the story's great. You can have a great story. But with video games, you got to remember, you can have a 100% solid story, but how is the interaction with that story? How do they bring that story to life? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I said, the story could be the best story in the world, but it all depends on the team that's putting the game together, as far as not graphics, I would say, because nowadays graphics are just, they're unbelievable. You know, but it all goes into, you know, just the presentation.
Yeah, but they're going to have, one thing I like there, they're going to be true to the character. They're going to play a lot with his multiple personalities.
Yeah.
How he interacts with fans and breaks the fourth wall. I can see that. People do that a lot. Characters do that a lot in video games, where they're like, hey, or like in the Zelda games. You play Zelda, sometimes Link would have like some kind of guide.
Yeah.
So I could see like one of his split personalities, or maybe even himself just popping off through a scene and being like, hey, you know.
Yeah. Nolan, during the trailer that was shown at San Diego Comic-Con for the game, Nolan North went ahead and voiced Deadpool as he did in the Hulk animated Marvel movie, Hulk versus Wolverine versus Thor or whatever. So, but it's yet as announced if he's gonna do the full voiceover for the entire game. So that's number 10. Deadpool finally gets his coming up, and he's getting a video game. You know, number 9. J. Michael Straczynski, Alex Ross, Mark Waid. They all got legendary status, son. Pretty much what that is Legendary Entertainment is announcing the acquisition of Chris Hardwick's busting Nerdist Industries.
Chris Hardwick, you probably know him from E! Entertainment. He hosts, what show is it that he hosts on there? Web Soup he hosts on there. Thank you, Voice.
Voice from Beyond.
Yeah, that was a good one. I like that. Web Soup.
The comics are talking to us. We read them, now they talk to us. Weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, Max Brooks is also another one. Max Brooks, the son of Mel Brooks.
Oh, okay.
Spaceballs guy.
Right, yeah. He's on here too?
Yeah. Mark Waid, Max Brooks, and Shane Davis will collaborate on a graphic novel, Shadow Walk. It's about a group of special ops soldiers armed with the skull of John the Baptist and a piece of the True Cross, searching for the real-life shadow of death. I'm a big Mark Waid fan. I mean, if you watched my review a few days ago on the Daredevil books, you know.
How would the skull of John the Baptist empower you?
I have no clue. Let's go find out.
Like when I think about John the Baptist, I mean, would he make you fast a lot more? Would you have much more of a craving for locusts and honey? Would you want to constantly be in a situation where you martyr yourself? If anything,
you're making this comic sound so depressing.
Well, because I would think that being empowered by John the Baptist. First of all, I'll be very preachy, but I put myself in very dangerous situations. Not a great power, but interesting. Okay.
Alex Ross. Alex Ross was added to the talent roster that previously announced to Tower Chronicles. And J. Michael Straczynski is also coming to Legendary with a project called the Majestic Files? Majestic Files.
I like this. I like this though. It's more of some of the best talent out there owning it.
I think I'm kind of on the fence with the fact that Legendary Entertainment is also under Bob Schreck, and like, wouldn't you think they'd have something to do with DC? Because look at Watchmen, look at the Nolan Batman movies, look at the Man of Steel. They're all DC/Legendary Pictures. So why go on your own as opposed to already teaming up with a big powerhouse?
Yeah, but many companies out there, they're okay. Like I guess the first thing that pops into my head is when Disney acquired Pixar and when they acquired Marvel, they're okay with we're gonna own you, but you'll go ahead and you be you and do what you do.
Okay.
You know.
That still sounds, well, we're gonna own you.
No,
do what you want.
Because in doing that, you're not messing with the creativity that makes it work.
Right.
Okay. And Legendary Pictures, once again, this is more of that example of creating comics for the sake of developing a script.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'll take a break. I can pause that right after you say script. I'll cut it and move on to the break.
Okay. Ceylon, do you have a question, honey? Oh, go ahead, sit down. Just chill.
She did it all guilty like.
There you go.
Alright, good?
Yeah, go ahead.
Number 8. AVX will have consequences. No shit.
Yeah,
big,
that's the point of a giant event.
Yeah, you'd hope they came out with something that would drastically change the face and the way of continuity currently in comic blah blah blah.
This is filler on the list. Filler.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go ahead and read what they got here. And their first sentence in this pretty much nailed it. You know, it happens at the end of pretty much every major Marvel event. You know.
Well,
a series,
yeah.
A series or two comes out documenting the fallout of said event, you know, and the landscape of the changed Marvel universe. The way they did.
You're up on the AVX stuff. You
I just
told me
reviewed
about
AVX number 8.
The what the heck moment.
Yeah.
On there with the Namor thing. It
I'm not telling you here. You gotta go watch the review.
But it finally sold me on something cool.
Yeah.
About the book, but it's like the one thing.
Oh, I didn't tell you either. The whole interior of that book is done by your boy Adam Kubert, and you know what? He stepped his game back up to what you remember it to be. Because remember, like in the later years, kind of got a little sloppy.
Yeah.
Nah, his pencils are tight again.
Wow, man! Thank you. You know what? There had to have.
They even gave him a variant cover.
Wait, but there had to have been that many complaints about the art in that book.
I don't know.
There had to have been. I wasn't the only one. A lot of people were complaining that the work on there was just too amateur to be in an event book.
I don't know, but we already know that the end of AVX is gonna bring, you know, the Marvel Now era, blah blah blah. What are you doing? We're not done.
That's all that there is to say about it.
No, because it's actual. We didn't even talk about the series.
Oh,
we kind of zoned off.
I still don't want to talk about AVX.
Like I said, we already know that it brings in the dawn of the Marvel Now era and blah blah blah. But they announced the 2 series they announced. They're going to tie into from the 12-part event. It's called AVX Consequences, and that's but it's going to be the first issue's got. We can't show you here, but you can go Google the image. It's a chalk outline of somebody's body. They're thinking the same way you're thinking, man. It says that sure seems to point to the death of a major character who may or may not be Cyclops.
Because, man, if you're not going to properly write the guy, just get rid of him. No. Give him some peace time.
So who's the character on the Marvel Now promo poster that Posada threw up, remember? Where it's got the guy in the red, he's got the one that we said looked like
that's
Mr.
the
X.
Yeah, by the way, great costume change. You go from Cyclops costume to Nightwing to Racer X. That's fantastic. Because you don't want to look like you're ripping off another character. Okay?
Let alone two.
You don't.
Yeah.
You know? But you know what would look cool?
Make
his visor look like it's shooting out from a giant red X.
I prefer the Jim Lee era Cyclops.
Keep
more
his
of an
costume
animated
simple. Just keep
You
it
know?
simple with the
But the yellow
the
belt, I like
yeah
that.
the pouches and stuff.
Yeah, and that's
If
when
anything,
everybody was pouch heavy back then.
it always made me think why they never went in the whole Cyclops soldier direction if he has such strong ties to Cable and all that, you know.
Right.
Plus he's leading a team.
Finishing this number 8 off, the other book that was announced is called A Plus X. And it's basically a reverse version of the AAVX Versus series where they're fighting everybody. They're fighting each other. This is more of a team up.
Because they're going to become the JLA of the Marvel
So
Universe.
don't worry about it. Of course, out of habit, I'll end up buying it. I'll read it and I'll review it for you, so you don't have to waste your money on it. And I only do that because I get it so much cheaper than you.
Or just buy a JLA comic book.
You can do that, but don't buy the Grant Morrison one because that's just a headache.
Has it been bad?
The old school.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's just, besides Tower of Babel. Tower of Babel was good.
Yeah, I didn't get into that. That's when they had the energy suit, right?
No, that was when Ra's al Ghul took down the Justice League using the Batman methods. Remember the Doom animated movies based on it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is one of the biggest ones. For some reason, it did not load all the way. But number 7, go ahead and take this one, man, because, I mean, you see that headline.
Yeah, this one's new to me, but apparently Tim Drake was never Robin.
Mm-hmm. In the New 52 universe, writer Scott Lobdell has gone and said that in this continuity, Tim Drake, Red Robin, was never officially a Robin. So when he came on with Batman, you know, instead of him becoming Robin, he became Red Robin. So he was still Batman's sidekick and all that crap. It's just he never donned the Robin. He went straight for his own identity right away.
So they're just straight cutting into what people liked in Kingdom Come, basically.
I would assume so.
That's,
I think it's nothing against obviously nothing against the character. Scott Lobdell's writing has just gone so downhill from the 90s. In the 90s, he was Mr. X-Man. Remember that?
Yeah. I think this is kind of just trying too hard. I think Nightwing already proved that you could be a Robin and then become
your own
thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so did Jason Todd. I mean, with the Red Hood.
Yeah, he could have just been Robin and become Red Robin.
Mm-hmm.
That's if anything, that just adds to the whole Bat family where it's like, oh man, one of these guys is gonna be Batman, and then they just keep you hanging. Be like, no, he's Nightwing.
You think
he's
maybe he did it because of the continuity thing or the timeline?
Oh, because
like how many Robins can you really have?
Certain years?
Yeah. So you think maybe he did it for that?
Yeah, and that's just one of those plot holes that you run into when you deal with a storyline that got resolved because of some time and space issue.
Right.
Whenever you write some complicated storyline dealing with time and space, and you think you gotta figure it out, there's gonna be a plot hole.
Of course, there always is. It's just the way stuff rolls. Yeah, they screwed that up. Oh, you see what they did here? Their website's messed up. This is the rest of the Tim Drake stuff.
Oh yeah, I see that.
So what in the shoot? Okay, wait. So, yeah, they screwed their stuff up. You see?
Yeah.
There's no number 6 on the list because Newsround has screwed up their crap. So we're just gonna go ahead and skip that and go with their number 5. Tarantino Comics comes over to DC Comics. I didn't know Quentin Tarantino had his own comic line.
Is it necessary?
Nope. His movies are most of his movies are crappy enough. The only ones he's ever made that I really
Wow,
really
you don't like Quentin Tarantino?
Not that much. I like the Kill Bills and I love Pulp Fiction.
This is a point where we disagree.
Opinions are like assholes. I have one and I am one.
Okay. Hey,
not like I said, some of them. I don't like all of them.
You know what I'm holding back? You told me not to have a potty mouth, and now I want to
Go
say
ahead.
something.
I never told you.
I'm not going to go.
You know, that's just my take. Like I said, I don't hate the guy. I just don't like all of his movies.
And
that's like, you know, you can be a fan of everything. Look at the Beatles. You can love the Beatles to death, but I mean, there's got to be at least one song that you don't like. You know, I mean, it happens. Same thing with Tupac and, you know, all the other people.
All right, now see, there you go. You created a plot hole, and now you're trying to fill it. This is what we're talking about, okay?
This is my opinion, man.
This is why you just can't generalize.
Okay,
things,
well,
man.
prove me wrong.
His movies are awesome.
Give me an example. Besides the 3 I mentioned.
Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah, I can't say I did not finish watching that.
Okay, then we can't have this conversation then. No, we can't have this conversation. If you're trying to generalize this, all these things that this guy created. We haven't watched all of them. So all this means is we have to get a 6-pack from the 7-Eleven next door. And
I like where
we're
it's going.
just going to have to sit down and watch all the Tarantino movies while we're just drunk off our asses.
Would that make me like him more?
It would resolve the issue and we'd be drunk.
Okay, so let's get to the article. Go ahead. You can handle this one.
I just don't think it's necessary. Let me see. I haven't read the article.
It doesn't really give you any insight to what he's doing other than the fact that he's bringing his own.
This is what I did think, and it actually goes back to what we talked about last episode, and we just mentioned just a few points ago, where a lot of this is adapting a comic into a movie script.
Yeah, the storyboard.
It is that these are storyboards to what is it necessary? Is this a confidence thing? Does Tarantino think he's losing it, that now he's got to put it out there to make sure the fans like it before he makes it into a movie?
Who knows? Like we said, the article really doesn't show or give much in the way of what's going on other than his imprints coming over to DC.
Yeah,
for DC to pimp him out.
But that's just it. Just from a fan standpoint, just absorbing it. Yeah. Just doesn't make sense. A Tarantino comic book is just not. When John Woo,
he's very quirky in a movie. Like his movies are very, like.
Yeah, John.
Like I can't see that on a page.
John Woo had comic books out.
I do remember that.
Virgin, the company Virgin Records, they had their own comic out. He tried doing a comic and it didn't work for him because people just can't accept that. We can't. You're not a comic guy. We need you to make a movie where there's a guy holding 2 pistols and just shooting a bunch of people. Yeah. He's the John Woo. Actually, just thinking about it. And
he hit a speed bump and actually blow somebody's brains out.
Earlier, we were talking about both Ghost Rider movies, and now that I think about it, John Woo is the only guy that ever made Nicolas Cage cool.
DNS, man, DNS. That was my favorite. Scene from Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
DNS scene. I'm not gonna say what it stands for, but the one scene where they take the dead body over to his house.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. Yeah. I loved the Pulp Fiction. It's one of my favorite movies.
All right, there you go. So Tarantino, I just can't accept it in the comic format.
Numero 4.
Hey, don't you like this guy? You love this guy.
My favorite writer.
Hey, man.
Hell Jeff Loeb is coming to Avengers Assemble.
And it says don't panic, but look at Junior.
Do I look like I'm panicking?
You look like you're going to shit on yourself.
That's my backup.
Oh, that's his normal.
This might be that first comic that I really decide to stop buying that's a mainstream book. I don't know. I mean, Jeff Loeb's work is good. I like his work way better than Grant Morrison. But on a personal note, I've said it before and I'll say it again, he's just not a people person. Maybe it's because we caught him on a wrong day. His son had just passed away.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just like, if that were the case and it was hurting, I mean, understand a father's standpoint, if I lost my child, I'd be devastated. But I would not go and be like, man, my kid just died. Let me go to a convention. I mean, if you're in mourning, be in mourning. That's just a whole nother thing. Whatever. So if he's at Wizard World this year and you want to interview him, we're all good for it. But you'll be doing it.
What's all this about them talking about? They're trying to kind of like connect the Earth's Mightiest Heroes show to the actual Avengers book. First of all, the show, I can't get into it.
They're retitling the show. It's not now. It's called It's called Avengers Assemble.
For some reason, that type of animation just isn't working out for the Avengers.
We're old school. We like old school.
But it doesn't work with them. It just doesn't. It's like that very simplistic style. Really, I think DC really nailed it as far as making it work for superheroes. But man, I can't really get into this show here. And now they're trying to tie it into the comics.
Yeah, so the Avengers Assemble comic that's out now that Mark Bagley's doing and Bendis is writing, I'm guessing it's one of the ones that's going to get canceled, with the relaunch. And the title will move on to the kid version of the comic, which is currently called Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. So as to not get the two confused, wow, you never get that confused.
But that's even if you watch Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Exactly. Well, no, because Earth's Mightiest Heroes has a comic also.
Oh, but it's like part of the kid.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I get that. So
there's that.
See, I could get that, but in that way, it's also very DC-ish. Because that's how DC well, with obviously our Baltasar doing his thing, and how, you know, even Crypto the Wonder Dog had his own show, but even Teen Titans. Teen Titans had his own kids book and all that.
Yeah,
so it's very, man, did someone from DC quit and then like just get hired by Marvel? Is that what's happening here?
Yeah, really. Number 3, from DMZ over to the Massive at Image, over to the X-Men, now to X-Wing. Brian Wood has been announced to start working on some Star Wars stuff for Dark Horse.
Whoa, snaps.
The news dropped just before Comic-Con. Brian Wood is writing a Star Wars comic. You know, the. But then you read a little more and find that Brian Wood is writing a Star Wars comic. That's it, no subtitle. It's just plain old Star Wars.
Huh.
Because almost everything's coming out now as a subtitle to it. You know?
Right. Yeah, because like, they're all like dealing with either separate battles or separate parts of the universe, or trying to bridge some stupid story plot hole that George Lucas totally crapped on. Which always gets me back to why Darth Maul has robot's legs. That always comes back to me. I can't just let that
Brian
go.
Wood has recently taken time off from any work for hire stuff to focus on his DMZ and on Northlanders and stuff. But now he's recently returned to doing work for hire with runs on Conan, X-Men, and Ultimate X-Men. This one goes a little differently, however, as it places him firmly in control of the Star Wars universe, exactly as it was in 1977, when only one film and none of the hundreds of tie-ins were created. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As for Wood's plans, though, he's revealed Leia as an X-Wing pilot, and I mean, people like Leia.
Yeah, I mean, cosplayers, collectors.
Gives them another costume. It gives them a new costume for them to wear at
merchandise.
The
it's just more
action figures.
Yep, that's all it is.
More money in Lucas's pocket.
Plus, I guess, really all Leia, when I think about her, all she really ever has going on is she's holding the pistol or she's like in the slave outfit.
Yeah.
I don't really think of her as a super cool character in the Star Wars universe.
She was just there.
Yeah, I mean, the only story, as far as story goes, the most body she ever gave to the story was like, oh my shit, it turns out she's a twin sister. No, well, not like that.
Oh, you mean like
body
substance,
of work. Substance.
Okay.
Substance to the story was that it turns out she was the twin sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a whole love triangle thing to give.
That was disgusting.
But it brought more. That was to give more attention to the movie. But like,
and we know our Southern fans
from beyond being the twin sister, there was really nothing cool about her. But now she's a pilot. Yeah.
Whatever.
So now,
I'll pick it up. I'm a Brian Wood fan. I didn't read DMZ.
So now
but
expect
I do like Brian Wood's other writing, and I like Star Wars.
X-Wing pilot Lego.
Something.
Action figure Lego.
Yeah.
Action figure with the throwback package Lego.
Something. With a car, with a hologram,
all like
color variation, hair down, hair
lunchbox, X-Wing.
It's all T-shirts, ladies' underwear. It's all there.
Yeah.
Number 2, big names flock over to Image. A lot of big names have new projects at Image Comics. Creators who've been mostly associated with work for hire books at Marvel and DC. Matt Fraction and Howard Chaykin are collaborating on a series called Satellite Sam. James Robinson is returning to creator-owned comics with artist Jay Bone on Saviors. And Greg Rucka and Michael Lark are reuniting for Lazarus.
Yeah, but let me tell you why. If you go in as a creator to Image and something turns into something huge, you get a bigger chunk out of it.
Oh, yeah.
That's why. That's why you make.
You thank Robert Kirkman for that.
Yeah.
By that I mean big chunk, because I mean, yeah, obviously the Image 7.
Well, you think of all the original creators,
of course,
yeah,
but then you look at the late '90s, early 2000s, and you're just like,
Look, if you're a fantastic artist in Marvel, sure, that's a great way to make your name, but you're not going to get much out of it, except for whatever contract you signed, and it's a work for hire contract. Unless you sign an exclusive, either way, your paycheck is just based off of what you drew or what you wrote, or if you work in the administration.
Oh, dude, totally off the subject. I don't mean to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
I totally remember what number 6 was.
What?
Neil Gaiman is returning to Sandman for DC. How is that not number? I believe it was number 1.
God bless baby Jesus.
I think they screwed us up. Yeah, they did. Their list is screwed up. Okay, I take that back. Number 6 is the Guardians of the Galaxy and the Winter Soldier coming to the film. That was.
But do you think Neil Gaiman is coming? Because Neil Gaiman.
So that was that. We don't want to talk about it, but number one, yes, Neil Gaiman.
Neil Gaiman, he said everything he had to say already with Sandman.
This is from what I remember reading in the article. It's a prelude to the actual Sandman story. It's going to show you how Morpheus became Sandman.
Is this going to be a movie?
I doubt it.
I can't imagine Neil Gaiman doing a prequel. You know, like it's a prequel.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
But that was a big thing.
There was a huge paycheck here.
No, of course.
There was. Maybe he saw this as like this is the payoff that I never got when I was first working on Sandman, because it was all indie at first, and then he got all these huge publishing contracts coming out with all these hardcovers and all these collectors, and that's when he started finally getting a huge pay for this. So I think that's what would bring him back.
Yeah. Now, if only Alan Moore would come back. Hell, what if Alan Moore went to Marvel?
He'd have to get out of his cave and stop writing that book of magic with his brother.
So, quick rundown. Number 10, the Deadpool game. Number 9, the Legendary Comics line with JMS, Ross, Wade, and all the others. Number 8, the AVX having the 2 backup books that nobody gives a damn about.
And maybe Cyclops dying.
Maybe. Number 7, Tim Drake was never a Robin. I say crucify Scott Lobdell.
Cover the plot holes, though.
Number 6, the Winter Soldier and the Guardians of the Galaxy on film.
It's stuff we already knew.
Yeah. And I mean, not that we weren't appreciative of it, but
yeah. Actually, the Winter Soldier movie is probably the most exciting one. I want to see it. I would pay to see that. Just an on-screen face-off. Yeah, an on-screen face-off between the Winter Soldier and Captain America.
Number 5, Tarantino comics comes to DC Comics. The new Tarantino.
Who cares?
Comics. Stick to the movies.
Tarantino, yeah. Come on.
Number 4, Jeff Loeb on Avengers Assemble.
I'm panicking.
Yeah.
So don't panic, but
you can't help but panic.
Can't help it.
Or just drop the book. Number 3, Brian Wood goes from X-Men to X-Wing.
I just think Brian Wood is awesome.
Yeah, very good.
So he deserves. Everybody should put Brian Wood on their book.
Yeah, for a while, and then don't let him get Bendis out though, because that's what they do with Bendis.
Yeah, no, Brian. Actually, no. That's why I like Brian Wood though. Is that he just this is it. The story's finished. Let's move on.
Right. Number 2, big names flock over to Image Comics. Hopefully, and there's more, but they have not announced them yet.
It's what you do if you want to cash in.
Yeah, pretty much. And of course, number 1, the Neil Gaiman returns to DC for a new Sandman book.
I'm excited. I'm afraid.
You can buy it?
Yeah, most likely. Yeah.
Most likely not.
No, I will.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, actually, I was also a fan of Neil Gaiman.
Who cares what Yahid is a fan of?
It means that I'm going to get a lot of copies of these things.
Anywho, alright, well, there you have it. Top 10 announcements from San Diego Comic-Con. Tune in next episode where we have some a nice treat, actually, relating to the Dark Knight movie that was just released this weekend.
Oh, yeah, well, by the way, what do you think of Ant-Man coming off as a movie?
All I can think of is Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I cannot get that out of my head.
Yeah, I wish they brought in more visuals so people could get, because that's how
like,
I think
what
of
do you
like
do?
shrinky movies. Like,
it's like, what do you do with
is he gonna fight like white blood cells?
You know, what was that movie with Bill Murray, the animated movie?
I imagine Outbreak, but with an Ant-Man. He has to fight these monkeys to get
in through the ears, out through the ass.
There you go. That's how you fight a monkey.
Yeah.
That's how Junior fights a monkey. In case you were wondering.
Alright, well, we'll see you guys next episode 14-2. Till then, I'm Junior Ruiz.
And I'm David Sanchez.
And we'll see you guys next episode.
Have a very good night.